On this episode of Horror Movie Talk, we are talking about the long-awaited Longlegs featuring Nicolas Cage. So, hopefully that'll be good. But before we get into that, a little word from our sponsors. Do you have long legs? Don't. Try having shorter legs next time, you freak.
Is this a metal thing?
Yes. Little taste.
David, what is this?
Pretty thick.
Great.
I have to kill a lot of people. Just tell me what you want me to fuck.
I have big tits and a tiny vagina.
Oil me up, Daddy.
I can't believe that Bryce prefers big tits.
Mistletoe alert.
This is butt country.
This guy was a real jerk.
How long can Hugo be pregnant?
Chomp, 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 a chomp.
Oh, you're such a dick, David.
Okay, everybody, put on your corpse handling gloves.
Ew.
Hoodie Picasso.
Horror.
Hello, and welcome to Horror Movie Talk, an opinionated and accidentally funny horror movie review show. I'm Max Allen, my legs are not long, and with me is the moist, wet man with the long legs that go for days, Bryce Hansen, and Sydney's here too. We review
moist?
a different horror...
Moist.
Well, I don't know, I'm just thinking of, adjectives.
Not wrong. I just don't like that.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll be more flattering next time. I feel like all I do is talk good about you.
Yeah, that's fair. You should keep doing that.
Okay. We review a different horror movie every single week. New theatrical releases always get priority, but we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible. But today,
Thanks.
we have a new theatrical release. Thanks, Bryce. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. The full video is available on YouTube. Don't be a square. Make sure to share. Please share. We need you to share. Mm-hmm. We need it.
We need lots of shares. We need to
Lots
build
of
up the
shares.
army of horror movie talk. Or else.
We need to be strong enough so that when the government collapses, we can all meet in one area and pool all our money together. And Bryce will be in charge of that, of course. And
Yes.
he'll divvy out money to each person and they can have their property. It's not really theirs, but
Are you describing the law of consecration?
yeah.
I will be your Mormon prophet. I mean,
I love the law of consecration. Hey, if someone else is going to take care of my finances, they'll do a better job than me. If you want to add your P to the community pool, go to horrormovietalk.com or call 682-253-4468 and leave us a voicemail. We had someone contact us and was like, hey, I want to be on the show. And I was like, oh, cool. Have you left a voicemail yet? And they're like, no, I don't know what I'd say.
What?
So I was like, well, do that first. Let's get to know you on the voicemail first. So yeah, leave us a voicemail, please.
What a lunkhead.
What a lunkhead.
Yeah, what is there another movie coming out next week? We might do a voicemail episode soon.
Don't know.
Oh, that'd be fun. Do we have enough voicemails for that? I feel like we just did those.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to take 40 minutes to do it. We could just play 3.
Which
But-
the past
also
couple
we could
voicemail
do the
episodes.
Colin thing. We could announce Colin.
Ooh, Collins would be great. Yeah,
Collins
let's
are
plan on doing that.
fun. Collins are fun.
We've got a great show for you today, guys. It's finally here. We will be reviewing Longlegs. We'll start out by giving a brief review and our score for the movie. We score on a scale of 1 to 10. After we give our score, we'll get into spoilers and take a deeper dive into what we liked and hated about the film. Later on, we will be playing a game called Cages in Cages.
I'm
A game
so
where we
excited.
find out. A game where we find out which.
I'm a cat. I'm a sexy cat.
Thank you.
I'm going wild on the drops now.
That was really necessary. Cages and Cages, a game where we find out which Nick Cage character would win in a cage match.
Oh, fun.
So basically the way it's going to go is I'm going to pair up two characters and then you both can give your opinion on who would win. If it's split vote, then I'll be the tiebreaker. And then we'll funnel them down like March Madness and
Nice. Fun.
see who would be the best wrestler.
I like
Cage
it.
Madness.
Yes. All right, so let's get into our review. Longlegs can be found in theaters now. My synopsis is, in Longlegs, the FBI is on a manhunt for a mysterious killer named Longlegs who somehow convinces whole families to kill each other and themselves. Agent Lee Harker is on the case, and she is quickly shown to have psychic powers, or at least half psychic powers, which may be useful to the FBI. The details of the murders and the clues left behind are creepy, and Agent Harker must first learn to piece together her past before she can piece together this case. My review is Longlegs is the long-awaited horror movie that gained interest through vague and ominous marketing, as well as keeping the plot of the movie close to the chest. I had absolutely no idea what this movie was going to be about when I was going in, but I had high expectations simply because so many people were talking about it. This movie is very well shot and the atmosphere is creepy the entire time. It has a similar feel to movies like Silence of the Lambs and Seven, but it's maybe a little slower than both those movies. Anytime Nicolas Cage is on screen, I'm having a great time. His character feels interesting and is visually scary with the makeup he has on, and his voice was really chilling. My only complaints about this movie was that the dialogue sometimes felt super cheesy, especially when they were talking about the devil and worshiping Satan. I think they could have maybe come up with something a tad more original. In my opinion, worshiping the devil doesn't really feel that scary. It just feels a bit cringe, but, to each their own. The movie was also a little slow and probably could have benefited from a few more scary scenes in the middle of the movie. But other than that, it was pretty fun. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree with your criticisms of it. I really loved it. It was highly anticipated. The marketing was phenomenal. Like, if everyone marketed horror movies this way, like, more people would be in the seats the opening night. Like, honestly, because, we see new releases all the time, and there are a lot of times where it's like the first showing of a new horror movie and like there's like 10 people in my theater. But for this one, my theater was completely packed because of this phenomenal marketing. But yeah, it really didn't give you the plot of the movie in the trailers, which was awesome. I hate when horror movies do that because it honestly ruins a lot of the surprises. But this is a really good movie. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. My only complaints kind of were that it wasn't the scariest movie I've ever seen, and it was kind of being marketed as this was going to be the scariest movie of the decade, the most terrifying. It was creepy through and through. I did have trouble sleeping the night like I watched it just because I kept thinking about how creepy it was, but I wasn't really scared watching it. It was more reflecting on it that I got a little creeped out. And a lot of people in my theater also laughed every time Nick Cage was on screen, and that made me sad because like people just see him as like this character actor at this point, that he's just goofy, but he was creepy in this, and I think people just don't like see him as being creepy and see him as being this really good, like well-rounded actor. People just see him as this kind of a joke, and I don't love that because I didn't really laugh. I was like, damn, he's doing a good job. And people were just hollering, which made me a little sad.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm probably one of those people that laughed in the theater. And I don't think it's necessarily like laughing at the ridiculousness of Nick Cage, which is easy to do. But it's more of just laughing at the absurdity of how terrifying it is. Like, that's for me.
Yeah,
it's like, holy shit.
People were really, every time he delivered a line, every time he was on screen, the whole theater laughed, and that was like every
Well,
single
it's one of those
time.
things where like on screen maybe you can laugh at that, but if you saw a man acting like that in real life, you would be freaked out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like I don't know. I keep second guessing my calibration for ratings. Like I think I so want to enjoy a movie that like once I see something that doesn't disappoint, I'm like, yes, 10 out of 10. Perfect.
Yeah.
And like for me, 10 out of 10, like that's like The Exorcist, something that's gonna last the test of time, and the theater experience or the first time you watch it, it's like I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. And I think Longlegs checks a lot of those boxes. Like I was, for most of the movie, I was like, this is fantastic. This is like has its own unique voice, even though it's very reminiscent of Silence of the Lambs, Seven, a lot of other serial killer movies. It does have its own unique vibe through cinematography, through the structure of the story and the characterization. Like it's very unique. I think where it is going to lose a point from me is the ending. They don't leak enough of the actual like answer to the mystery until just the very end. It ends up being like the last 15 minutes of the movie is, okay, now we're just going to tell you, not show you. It's just like, we're just going to tell you everything that we haven't up to this point. And it feels late and a little rushed, as where I would have felt like it would have been better metered out more. Like the fact that it was like a Satanist thing even felt like it should have been used more throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Like to give it more of a creepy supernatural vibe, because if that's going to be your answer, there should be more doubt. I think like the best example of this is True Detective season 1.
Yeah.
Like just like really metering out like what the fuck is going on? Like what's the symbolism? Like what's these random non sequiturs that people are talking about, the Yellow King or whatever? And I don't think there was enough of that in this movie to really like achieve perfection. And it didn't seem like they did enough for Micah. Is it Micah?
Yeah.
Monroe? Micah? Monroe. Like her character is like very much 90% of her character is staring into the middle distance.
She's kind of boring.
Being frightened. Like there's just not enough there. There's a lot more opportunity for character development or delving into her past that they like kind of rush at the end.
They do.
Like her backstory.
Yeah.
But it's a very hard balancing act to perform, because all of the atmosphere and the feel and like the vibe of the movie is really dependent on her haunted stare and silence and things not filling the frame of the screen. And so they made a compromise on the atmosphere of the movie at the cost of character development and plot development, which is fair. But I'd give it, I think that's a long way of saying I give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's the best horror movie of the year so far.
It's the best one we've seen for sure.
Yeah, I can't think of...
That's interesting, because
Lisa Frankenstein was probably the closest I got to having a really enjoyable experience.
I forgot about that one.
Being unique, but
yes, that was very unique.
There's not there's not any great horror movies this year other than this one
I think that
and Imaginary.
it being with being afraid in the theater watching it, I was most scared this year in horror movies watching The First Omen. I was more
Yeah.
scared watching that because that I think that's my favorite horror movie of the year, and this is a close second. Lisa Frankenstein isn't really scary, but I really loved it too. But like The First Omen, that kind of horror, like with the shadowy figures and like the practical effects and all that stuff, like that kind of horror scares me more than this kind of horror, which is very unique. Like this movie is a very unique style of like creeping you out. Like it's stuff I haven't seen before, and I absolutely loved it. Like I was locked in the whole time. But like I definitely liked The First Omen better than this. Because when you have Catholicism and you got devil worship, that shit goes hand in hand, and it works so well. Like it works like peanut butter and jelly. This was very surprising that it was Satanism. And I don't think, I agree with Bryce, like they didn't do enough to really punch that. Like they were just kind of like, yeah, he's the devil. He worked with the devil.
Yeah. I think, well, and they talk about the devil, they say the man in the basement or something like that.
The man downstairs.
The man downstairs. I think if they had just kept it to that and not like specifically said Satan, I think that would have been creepier.
I think that would have been great. I agree with you. That's also I went to the first showing in Boston, and they gave us these little cards when we walked in, and they like a woman handed it to us and said like stay safe in there, and I thought that was really cool. And it just says like Longlegs, Boston, Mass. You can win something if you post a picture with these. And then when we got out of the theater, there was a guy there who had like iPads who was like, we need people to review the movie because this was the first showing. And that was really cool. And then I was in the bathroom and waiting in line. Everyone was trying to get Letterboxd to load. Like every girl in line was like, Letterboxd isn't loading. And I was like, oh my God, you have that problem too? Because I can't log it either. They were like, we got to do it. Which was really funny. But it was really cool to go to a first showing in Boston because I don't usually go to the Boston theater, but everywhere was sold out. So,
did you leave your review on the iPad? And
I did not.
Post a photo online?
I did not do either of those things. But yeah, I wanted to do a review on the iPad, but I had to pee so bad when I got out of the movie. So
I had to pee in the middle of this, which I hate doing. I hate going to the bathroom in the middle of a movie, but it was bad.
Oh, you did? No. We'll fill in the gaps.
I know. I might have missed something very important that could have bumped this up to a 10.
I don't. I feel like my bladder has to be exploding for me to walk out of the theater. I think it has to be like a 3-hour long movie.
My bladder is always exploding.
When I saw Dune 2,
David always like went out of the theater like 2 times, guaranteed.
Oh, really?
He has the smallest bladder in the universe. Yeah.
When I saw Dune 2, I had to pee an hour into it, and it's 3 hours long, and I fucking waited. And I have to pee all the time. I literally was like, I cannot miss a second of this movie. And I ended up seeing it 2 more times in theater, so I would pee those
I
times.
think the problem with waiting is like sometimes I'm so distracted by how badly I have to pee that I'm not enjoying the movie. Like I need to just get it over with so that I can enjoy the movie.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Another thing I will say about this movie is it did like multiple things that I've never seen any movie do, which that's my favorite part about a horror movie is when you get to see something that you've never even thought of. Like that's really cool.
Yeah.
I agree.
Alrighty. Are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
Just tell me what you want me to fuck.
Perfect. Bryce is on it today. If you're listening to these commercials, you should know that you don't have to, you silly, silly person. Guys, you can get around these commercials. It's so easy. All you have to do is pay us money. Go to patreon.com/horrormovietalk. We have several tiers. Some of them unlock ad-free content. Some of them give you bonus content. There's lots of cool stuff. You can vote for a movie every single month. So if you want to absolutely make our lives horrible, you could do that. Some people try.
Your dickle.
Tickle.
If you want to tickle your dickle, join our
you
Patreon.
Yeah, exactly. There is a tier where we tickle your dickle. You could also go to horrormovietalk.com/shop where we have some things you can buy. Bryce.
That's Max tickling your dickle.
Do you want to do the mid-roll, Bryce?
Sorry, I'm just going ham on drops.
No, I just don't know when to talk.
Just let it go. It'll be on a separate track. We can remove them if
I can't let it go. I can't take a joke.
The fuck out!
Bryce just posted horror movie talk pins that you can buy. So that's a new thing that's on the shop. Check that out. Has anyone bought those yet?
Nope.
No one ever buys
one
anything.
of them says whore, so you can publicly say that you're a whore. That's so fun.
Here, let's pull them up. I'll show them to the fans here. I'm proud of them. I made them in like half a minute, but we've got horror and then whore and then the logo, Be Kind Hawktua, and then retired rated.
I don't know where the Be Kind Hawktua came from. I don't think we've ever even talked about that on the show.
I think we mentioned it once, but the point is, I couldn't just do one pin. If I could do one pin, I would just do whore, but it forced me to make 5, and so I had to come up with 5 in the moment, and I needed to come up with one for Be Kind Rewind. Anyways, they're there.
They're cool.
You're welcome to buy them.
Pins on your jean
Buy
jackets,
something. No one
on
buys
your
our
leather
stuff.
jackets, on your t-shirts. It's like a brooch, but it's less fancy and it says a word. Pins. Woo.
Pins. The autistic brooches. Okay. Check out our resident artist, Dustin Goebel, a professional artist who fucks hard. He also takes commissions for artwork from HMT fans. Contact him at DGOEBEL00 on Instagram and make your artistic dreams come true. Tell him HMT sent you. If you want to leave a voicemail and get your voice on the show, call 682-253-4468. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you so much. I love you. Mwah. Let's get into spoilers.
The sound isn't working.
Oh, Bryce.
I don't know why that's not
The
working.
sound was working when I was trying to talk earlier.
For some reason, that one's not. We'll insert it after. Or no, I'll just do it.
That was amazing.
It was perfect.
Spoilers.
Okay, I want to say that I found out after the movie. So I'm wearing a Twin Peaks shirt. I'm wearing Who Killed Laura Palmer. And I'm wearing this because Alicia Witt, who played Micah Monroe's character's mom, she was in Twin Peaks, and she was, I forget her name, but she was like a little girl, and she was in like one scene, and then she was in Twin Peaks The Return as an adult. And I think that's really cool. I didn't know that. And she also played Aaliyah in the first Dune, the David Lynch Dune. So she was in 3 David Lynch works. And I can see Osgood Perkins got inspiration from Lynch for this movie because there's some Lynchian stuff in there. But yeah, Alicia Witt, good actress. Good stuff.
Good job, Alicia. Mm-hmm. You did great. So this movie starts out in not a good aspect ratio, and I was terrified that it was going to be like that for the whole movie.
I was too. I did like how the screen got bigger as the title card was coming. That was really, really cool.
Yeah, well, that made me feel a lot better.
Yeah, there's a lot of like in terms of framing and like the cinematography that was one of the best parts of the movie, I think. And starting out in that that aspect ratio, I don't even think it was 4:3. I think it was like more almost like whatever the aspect ratio was for the lighthouse, which was like closer to a square. I think it was that. It was basically almost a Polaroid.
Well, that's what I was wondering
ratio.
is if they're trying to do a Polaroid type thing.
Yeah, and it's so weird when you watch movies, like how much you don't realize it affects how you take in the image is the aspect ratio, because it's, I don't know, it's just like things feel so much bigger in the frame because it's like it feels very crowded. And yeah, I mean, it's really effective. I think the main point of like using that aspect ratio is we don't see Longlegs' face really. It's obscured because it's cut off by the top of the frame.
You see like his mouth down, and it's a really creepy image.
Yeah, and then he leans down. You probably catch a flash of his face right before the title. But
well, there was a quote first, which I forget what that was, but there was a quote.
Oh, it was from a
before the
T-Rex
title.
song. I could probably pull it up.
So it starts with a little girl who's about the age of 9, and she hears a noise, so she goes outside with her Polaroid camera, and she hears like a creepy voice calling her to the backyard, which is horrifying. And she goes back there, and there's a man just in her yard with a really creepy looking face, and he talks. The voice is probably the best part for me. Like, at first I was really confused because it almost sounded like a woman. But it was just like too, I don't know. It was menacing. I was creeped out by that a lot.
Very androgynous performance by Nick Cage. But yeah, he says something like, isn't it your birthday soon, little girl? It's like, that's kind of like
almost
the
birthday
cadence.
girl.
The almost birthday girl. And
you know
like,
what he reminded me of a lot, like no joke, folks, was the Teddy episode of Atlanta. Did you ever see that?
oh my God. Yeah. That is
Teddy Perkins in
Teddy
Atlanta.
Perkins. Oh, that was good. Did you watch that, Max? That's a good show.
No.
It's really good.
I told you, I'm watching a random season of Survivor with my wife right now. I can't watch anything else.
Can't really fully appreciate this.
Unless you
Teddy
see
Perkins
that episode.
Probably the best thing that came out of Atlanta. That episode was so wild.
It's so scary. Like, I was terrified the whole time I was watching that episode. And that show is not scary. It's just like a show. And it's weird and it's off-putting. But like that episode is like really fucking scary because he's just trying to buy a piano.
Yeah, Teddy Perkins is kind of like a stand-in for a Michael Jackson type, except has faded into obscurity in that universe. But yeah, there's a very much uncanny valley, artificial like mask face that was replicated with Longlegs, I think.
I also think that they didn't show Longlegs in the trailers or anything. Like, they didn't show you what Nick Cage would look like. And I love that. I love that we didn't know what like the quote unquote monster is going to look like in the movie. It was a little lackluster the first time you saw his full face. I was expecting something a little scarier. It's really off-putting and it's very uncanny valley. And that is, I guess, what they were trying to do there. But like,
Sorry.
I expected it to be a little scarier.
See, I actually thought it was perfect. That was one of my favorite parts, was just his look. I thought they did a really good job. And it was pretty clear that they're taking inspiration from like Buffalo Bill. Just the way he like acts and is like kind of androgynous. Right. And he's not a great big fat person. He's a tall man with long legs. And
I
he
did
says
think of
one of
Buffalo
the
Bill,
best
you're right.
lines. One of the best lines is he says something like something about like how exciting it is that it's her birthday and how they should celebrate, except for the fact that he put on his long legs that day. Which I don't know what that means, but it's really
I have no
creepy.
idea what that means. Like, what is that?
See, what I think it was is like he. I think the thing. This is what I interpreted it as is you have to channel like your goofy uncle, and you know if you're talking to a kid and you're like standing up over them, you're like, oh, I put on my long legs, and then you would kneel down and get on their level. Oh. I think that's because like after he says I put my long legs on, then he like swoops down in front of her, which is, you know, if it kept going, he'd probably just like say some dad jokes to her or something. It was fine.
So
Just being a goofy uncle.
I think the main reason I didn't give this a 10 out of 10 was I didn't want to say it because it's a spoiler. How like Micah Monroe's character is Lee Harker is psychic. She's not psychic. Like that's the thing is she is not like that. Like she is legitimately not psychic. And I like went on Reddit after I watched this because I wanted to see what people were saying. And I saw something that was like, she wasn't psychic. She just like couldn't remember her past. And that's what her like psychic powers was her already knowing who this guy was and what was going to happen. Like that's what I saw on Reddit. But like, I really don't think that she was really that psychic though.
Okay.
No, it's
so
the
she
doll.
had this test where she was supposed to guess a number between 0 and 100, and she got half of them right.
I know.
Do you know how good that is?
That's really insane.
Like,
I understand that.
They just, and she's like, but I missed 8 of them. It's like, that's, you know, like 90% better than what the statistical average would be. She should be getting 1% of them correct, and she's getting 50% of them correct.
I just felt like it was like,
and she predicted that someone was going to murder her partner immediately. There's some supernatural element. She definitely has some kind of
Here's what I think it is.
thing going on where she can premeditate or vision something is going to happen or go wrong.
It's because each victim gets their own doll, and the doll puts them in a trance where they're like somehow influenced by the devil. And her doll is still around, which means that she's getting like psychic premonitions from the devil is what I got from it.
Oh, that's stupid that I didn't get that, but you're right. Thank you for explaining.
Yeah, because I think she can also there's some connection to the doll because she sees things happening that only the doll should see, which is, you know, in her basement or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, with this kind of thing, it's not useful to split hairs. It's like there's some kind of supernatural element, and you know, it serves the story when it needs to. But
yeah.
And the best use of it is the beginning with her partner. So they're on a hunt for some guy. I don't remember if they say specifically what they're onto this guy for, but they're basically knocking door to door and saying like, have you seen this man, and showing a picture, see if anyone knows where this killer is. And as soon as they get out of the car, she's like, he's in that house. And her partner's like, okay, crazy lady, how about you wait in the car? I'll just knock on the door just to ease your mind. And he's immediately shot in the head as soon as the door opens.
It was great. I thought that was
Hello.
I thought that was a great like first scary thing besides the intro. Like that was like, I was shocked. Like everyone gasped in the theater, and I was like, okay, we're in for a good ride here. And then, you know, she catches the guy, and then she does her little psychic test and stuff. I really liked the the FBI agents that recruited her to like get on the Longlegs case. He was in Sex and the City. He was a really good actor. I forget his name right now, and I'm not gonna look it up because my cat's on my lap. But he was really good in this movie too. I really liked him as a supporting character, like her partner throughout. He was good.
Believe that's Blair Underwood.
Yes, that's him. Yes, he's really excellent in this movie. A lot of comedic relief from him too, which I really enjoyed. He was a little bit of like a lighter character for a little bit, anyways. Do
you think the FBI actually does like weird stuff? Like okay, let me explain. So when she
I didn't realize you were a Trumper.
No. Give me a second to explain what I'm talking about.
The pizza order.
As soon as she has this experience where she can locate the house the guy's in, instead of the FBI being like, wow, that was really weird. What a coincidence that the first house she knocked on was the one that the guy was in. Instead of doing that, which is I feel like what would actually happen in real life, they're like, give her the test. Give her the psychic test that we have pre-prepared.
No,
I think
I don't
that
think
was
so.
definitely
I mean,
movie magic. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely like kind of fantastical. Also, like it's pretty early in the movie, so it really kind of sets the tone and the mood of it to have like and I think some of those images were used in the marketing materials. I didn't see a lot of the marketing stuff. Like I've heard people talk about like how well marketed this was, and it sounds like it was kind of similar to Blair Witch in that they set up, specific websites and phone numbers you can call and like the things you can decode and all that. But I honestly didn't see much, and the stuff that I saw, I was like, okay, it's just showing you nothing and giving you, kind of the Skinnamarink feel. I'm like, okay, well, people are excited about it. People are saying it's going to be good. And the buzz that came out from it from pre-screenings was really strong. So, but I honestly didn't know much going into it, and overall it was awesome.
That's the good thing. That makes it better, is not knowing what's going to happen. And I honestly, I know that, Bryce, your main complaint is the ending and how they just kind of are like, here's a monologue to fucking hand feed you.
This is how it works.
I didn't absolutely hate that because I really didn't understand the mannequin until they did that. Like that, I think that needed to happen. It was a bit silly, but like dolls freak me the fuck out.
The mannequin. I love how they find the mannequin. They find a mysterious metal ball in the head, and they're like, it's completely empty. Oh, check this out. It whispers to you. Anyways, it's probably nothing.
The coroner's like, it was telling me about my ex-wife or something. I'm like, what the fuck?
That was good.
They're very jaded, unimpressed FBI special agents. They're like, we've all seen the X-Files.
Yeah. It did
one of them whispering metal balls.
It felt like X-Files a little bit in like the best way possible. Like it was like kind of like that, because Micah Monroe was kind of like David Duchovny, where she's like, it's the aliens. And Blair Underwood is like, okay.
I like how they're like, can you cut open the metal ball? And the coroner's like, well, I could, but I mean, I already know it's a metal ball that talks to you. There's nothing inside. We're not going to learn anymore.
But yeah, the mannequins were really creepy. Something that's always scared me is dolls and dummies and stuff. Like Goosebumps, Night of the Living Dummy, it was the scariest episode to me, the scariest book to me. Like, I am terrified of dolls. I had this, I actually have no idea where this is, and I hope it's not just looming in my room. I had this porcelain fancy doll that I got when I was a baby, and I was too afraid to ever move her or do anything, because I was like, that little bitch is gonna do something to me if I fuck with her space. Like, I am not messing with that. What is this?
What are you doing, Bryce?
Did this movie terrify you, Sydney? Mannequin?
I've never heard of that.
Hello?
I've never heard of that.
Sydney's frozen.
I'm frozen? I'm not frozen.
You've never seen Mannequin?
No.
Oh, boy. You guys are in for a treat.
Are we?
Double
We're going to have to
feature,
do a live
Longlegs
watch
and
of Mannequin. Yeah. Yeah, Longlegs and Mannequin.
So, Bryce, is having a formative experience with a Goosebumps episode part of your generation too, or is that just me and Sydney's generation?
That's just
Because
you
I
and
think
Sydney. No,
every
mine
single...
was... Yeah, our formative one was Are You Afraid in the Dark?
Okay.
That was the equivalent for us. And honestly, there's none of those episodes that stuck with me enough. Like even I was like, nah. It's just like kind of a it develops like a really creepy atmosphere, and then it's like, it's okay, kids. It's okay. Look, it was just old man Withers inside a mask. And you're like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's how all
Goosebumps
of those
never
episodes
ended okay. Goosebumps, it was
No,
like
everyone just dies.
everyone fucking died, and you're like 8 years old watching it. You're like, what?
I
So
I
good.
remember my parents took me to a video rental store, and I picked up a Goosebumps video. It was the episode about the mask. I don't remember what it's called, but I asked them to get it for me, and they were like, no, you're going to be too scared. And I'm like, no, please, I won't be scared. No, please, just get it for me, please. And so they rented it for me, and I watched it, and I could not sleep that night. I was so terrified
They were
of the mask
scary.
that you can put on, but you can't take off. I was so scared. And my parents were very mad at me. They're like, we told you you're a little baby and you don't know.
Yeah, Goosebumps was so good. I could like talk about that for hours. We should do a Goosebumps episode. Just watch like the entire show and just fucking review it. But okay, Longlegs. Yes, Longlegs.
Yeah. So Lee like puts all the information they have on Longlegs on the floor, and she like looks at it for like several hours, and then I feel like somehow comes up with the realization that they need to check one of the crime scenes again. It's like on a farm, and so that's why they drive out there and they find
That's
the
a little bit
mannequin under
later.
Are you sure?
She goes home first because she falls asleep on the ground, and they like have a drink together, and then she goes home. And she lives in the middle of nowhere in the scariest fucking cabin in the world. Like, okay, girl, what the fuck? And so she calls her mom, and then she thinks she sees someone outside, and she like has her gun, and she's going through her house, and she's going outside, and she doesn't really see anyone. But while she's outside, someone walks through her house. She goes back in, and she gets a letter that says don't open till January 14th or something. But what was set up in this, like when she's doing the FBI information stuff, he's killing girls' families where the girls were born on the 14th of any given month. And that happens every time. And he always leaves a encrypted message in like a language that like a Zodiac killer kind of thing. And then she gets one of these cards, and he explains some of the language in it. Like he writes the English letters next to his weird letters, and that gives her the code so she can decode all of the messages and get like information. But yeah, so Longlegs goes in her house, and she doesn't say anything because he kind of threatens to kill her mom in this letter in a way, which was really creepy. But she doesn't tell the FBI. She just like, they're like, she goes into work the next day, and she like decodes all the letters, and her partner guy is like, how did you do this? And she's like, I just looked long enough. And I'm like, girl,
like,
you're
"Don't worry
hiding
about it."
something. Like,
She's like, I put on my long legs and I figured it out.
my long legs. Yeah. And then this is when I think after that is when they go.
So
to
because
the
they
farm.
were able to decode the messages, that's how they knew to go back and check the farmhouse again or something.
X
Yeah.
marks the spot or something.
Right. Yeah. So then they go and they open up the floorboards, and there's just this creepy mannequin
So
in the
scary.
floor, which that was like another one of my favorite parts. That was really effective for me.
It was really scary. And like the dolls are like voodoo dolls because they're made with real hair from.
Okay, guys, I don't think I can go forward with this unless we watch the Mannequin trailer.
Okay.
So,
Bryce has just been checked out for the past 5 minutes.
true.
Jonathan Switcher
Wrong sex.
loves to talk to his work.
You know, you're the first thing that created and made me feel like an artist. Don't you like your new scarf?
He never expected
Not especially.
to hear him talk back.
I really think I'm going crazy.
I am so glad you're working here. I never thought they'd hire anyone stranger than me.
You're the only one who can see me like this.
To the rest of the world, he's a disaster.
You're fired.
And she's a dummy.
You were one sick puppy.
But together,
Hey, don't do that.
You weren't so shy when you were creating me.
You weren't so real.
they make magic.
Look at him with the dummy.
Who are you to criticize?
That new stock boy, and I just want you to keep an eye on him for me.
I think I'm going to handle things my own way. All the girl mannequins disappeared from the windows last night. Film at 11. Yes, my dear, your favorite. She is gone too.
Get him!
Mine's bigger than yours is.
Go get him!
You're magic.
He's talking to the dummy again.
Andrew McCarthy, Kim Cattrall,
You know I would never bother you when you're getting a piece of wood.
Mannequin.
That was
That
a
song,
weird
Nothing's
looking
Gonna
movie.
Stop Us Now, that was from Mannequin movie, in case you didn't know.
Kim Cattrall from Sex and the City. That's 2 Sex and the City mentions. 2. One
Can
episode.
we get a third?
Can we get a third? Going once.
Yeah, so anyways, they find a mannequin.
And it's like creepy because they have real hair from the girls that he's presumably killing the families,
Right.
but he's not actually
They're-
killing the families because he's not.
They're made to look like the 9-year-old girl in the family. So they're specially made for each family. And it's just alluded to that somehow the mannequin is connected to the murders.
But we don't know how.
I don't think that all the girls are the same age, but they're the same birthday. Everyone has the same birthday on the 14th of the month.
Yeah, but I thought it always happens around their 9th birthday.
Was it? Okay, well,
Oh, maybe.
I guess I'm wrong.
Am I wrong in that?
Well, I mean,
thought it was her 9th birthday. It's Micah Monroe's 9th birthday. It was like when he came to her family, but I don't remember if it was because he was asking like the teenager like cashier when her birthday was, and she was like, definitely.
I
a
like that
teenager.
scene a lot because he walks into the gas station and she's kind of like, oh, this fucking guy. Like, that's just her expression. And then he walks up and he's like, when's your birthday, little angel? And she's like, Dad, the creepy guy's back. And that's the end of that scene. I thought that was just like perfect.
Aw, that must have been when I went to the bathroom.
Oh no, that was the best part. And then he gets in his car and is like screaming, like
I missed that too. Come
complaining.
on.
Yeah, he screams, he goes, Mommy, Daddy, ah! Oh my God, my light just fell. Longlegs is here.
It's Longlegs.
I
the
can't
man
believe I
downstairs.
missed like an actual
Your
good
landlord.
scene.
It was a really great scene that you missed. You're gonna have to go back and see it.
Shoot. That actually
it's
makes
like-
me mad.
Because it's like you think something's going to happen. You really think that he's going to do something. And it's just kind of like him just buying parts for his car and just being at this like gas station and this girl like not taking any of his shit because she's just like, ugh, this fucking
That is
dude.
like the most interesting part of true crime or like serial killer stories is when they're foiled. And they're like, oh man,
Yeah.
I can't kill that person.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that
it was
is
a
the
good
worst
scene.
when the killers get foiled.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It's the worst for I'm not saying it's the worst. I'm saying it's the most interesting because can you imagine being the one that got away? Like there's always the story of like the woman.
Maybe
like,
you
oh,
are.
yeah, there was a creepy guy that picked me up and
Yeah, Ted
Walked
Bundy.
it.
There's a woman that told that story. Like, her car literally broke down, and Ted Bundy just like drove her to a gas station or something, and she got out of the car before he could do
Yeah.
anything. Like, that's so.
I've survived hitchhiking
insane.
like 3 times, so maybe
That's good.
I was the one who got away.
yeah. There's one Ted Bundy one where I think it was at a beach or something, and someone's car was broken down, and then he offered to like help her fix it. And then like, she's like, oh, great. And then she called her 5 friends over and he's like, ah, shit.
And now he's just fixing a car for an afternoon.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Okay, so is this when I'm kind of a little lost on like the order of things? Is this when she goes to visit her mom?
Does she visit her mom before the farm?
Or she
house?
goes to visit the other girl first?
I think she goes to her mom's. No, yeah, she goes to her mom's after. So she goes to the farmhouse, and then they go directly to the girl in the mental hospital, who is Kiernan Shipka, who played Don Draper's daughter in Mad Men.
That's who that was?
Yep,
I
and
didn't
she was
recognize her at
also
all.
in Totally Killer, which is a movie we should do at some point because I really
She was in
liked
the
it.
Blackcoat's daughter.
And that's
Ooh.
also Osgood Perkins, which Blackcoat's Daughter is a fucking incredible movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, we need to get to that one.
Yeah, I totally didn't
So
recognize
she's
her.
a survivor, right? From like
The
Longlegs
Camera
killed
Family Farm.
her
I
family.
guess like you could say that. I mean, it sounds like, I mean, it's the same deal as what Micah Monroe's character or Agent Harker is going through, where it's like, except the little girl in that case is like catatonic. Like her mind is captured by the doll. Man, that's interesting though, now that you think about it, because her doll was boxed up under the floorboards, and so the doll couldn't see anything or do anything. And
when
so I
they
wonder
took
if there's
the doll out, that they mentioned that there's a line of
Yeah.
dialogue where they're like, when we took the doll out is when she stopped being catatonic, because they first thought it was because she had a visitor the day before, which is a great scene with the guy that runs the mental hospital. He's like, so, and everyone started fucking dying laughing, and they're like, do you check IDs for visitors? And he goes, that is a really, really good idea, but we do not do that. And it says the visitor is Lee Harker, and that's, she's there now, and it's obviously not her. And then they're like, Blair Underwood is kind of questioning. He's like, how would Longlegs know your name? And she's like, I don't know. She's like, I have no idea. That's crazy. But that's a really good scene. She does a really good monologue. What's her name? Kira or Kerry or something like that. Kerry Ann.
I'm surprised that in a case revolving around birthdays that happen on the 14th, they don't check the birthdays of all the agents before they put them on the case. Like, wouldn't you be like, oh, this girl's birthday's on the 14th? Might be a bad idea.
It's true. And all their kids,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
yeah. Yeah, that's a double whammy of just bad combos.
Yeah, what was the thing I was going to say? I think I lost it.
That's okay. So she talks to the survivor, and she's clearly like, no, I'd jump off the roof if Longlegs told me to. Like, that guy's awesome. I love him so much. If he asked me to kill you, I would, and it would be the best day of my life because I love him.
I also thought it was really interesting that Kiernan Shipka sees Lee Harker, and she says to her, she goes, I've met you before? And Lee Harker goes, I don't think so. And she goes, well, it must have been someone that looked like you. And that goes to the end. I remembered that line, and then I said, oh, I know who it was who visited her then, or visited her family.
Wait, I don't get it. Explain it to me.
Her mom is Lee Harker's mom.
Oh,
She recognized
look like
her mom.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. She recognized her mom because the mom brought the mannequin to the house a long time ago, or 20 years ago, or whatever it was. And yeah, so what was I going to say? Yeah, it was a really good scene that set up a lot of stuff, and Micah Monroe gets really freaked out about it. And what happens after this?
I think we've skipped over a lot of like stuff around Lee Harker's character. Like the main thing of like, did we talk about her in her house, like seeing Longlegs in her house when she was in the woods.
We did talk about that. You were focused on the mannequin
I was
thing.
checked out. I was looking up mannequin. Never mind.
Yeah.
I think we're at the point where she goes to her mom's house.
Yeah, she goes to her mom's house, and like her mom's being super cagey and weird.
But we just kind of assume that her mom is weird because she's like a hoarder and she doesn't leave her house like that.
Yeah.
Like we're
And
just
she,
like, okay.
I think, is a drug addict, right? Doesn't she find like needles and stuff in a bag?
I interpreted that as her being sick, but I don't know.
Oh, well, she's like mad about it when she finds it, though. I feel like.
Was she?
She was kind of like off put by it, and then she tries to go in like a door that's locked, and she's kind of like, huh, weird.
Yeah.
And then she's like, Mom, what happened? Because one of the agents makes her go to her mom's house because she's like, something is like connecting there. Ask your mom what happened on your 9th birthday, because there was she filed a police report for a trespasser, and Lee Harker's like, what the fuck? And so she's like, Mom, what happened on my 9th birthday? And she goes, I don't remember. You were allowed to grow up, and some people aren't allowed to grow up.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just what she says. And she's
very
like,
ominous.
All right.
And then she finds her cedar chest where she keeps all her photos of Longlegs, apparently. Yeah, so she like discovers this Polaroid that she took that was the
scary scene, scary jump scare, big scary jump scare.
We found out that the cold open of the movie with that little girl was her, and she captured him on the Polaroid. And so they find out what he looks like, and then almost immediately they capture him on the side of the road and take him in. And probably, one of the freakiest scenes is her interrogating him, and he's just very much like, he's very much Hail Satan, and then basically commits suicide by bashing his head into the table.
Before she interrogates him, though, they're like watching a video of him just in the interrogation room, and he starts singing Happy Birthday to Lee Harker.
24 minutes.
And then one of them pauses it and says it goes on like that for a long time. And she's like, how long? 24 minutes. And he sings Happy Birthday.
See, I didn't assume it was literally Happy Birthday for 26 minutes. I thought it was just the rest of the interrogation. But
I mean, maybe. I feel like if there was important interrogation footage, they would have just played it. They wouldn't say, this is boring.
Well, we are in a movie.
Well,
but
they could say that they watched it off screen. I don't know.
Yeah, irregardless. So she interrogates him, and like he's also being very cagey about it, but obviously, like what does he reveal in that interrogation? I don't actually remember.
He says something about her mom, I think.
Yeah, he's also talking about like saving. He gave him a choice that you can either like basically like the choice is either save your child and yourselves, and then you have to bow down to the man downstairs, or
bow all the way down.
Or you succumb to the mannequin.
You just, have to murder suicide.
Yeah.
Which is
See,
not a fair choice.
It would have been
that
like
Satan's a real
cooler if
jerk.
it was just Longlegs being like this pure evil
that guy sucks.
thing, and not having it be a Satan tie-in. Like if he was just I guess he is the embodiment of Satan in this movie. But if he just didn't say Satan at all and was just like, you either do what I want or you all fucking die, that would have been a little cooler, I think, in my opinion. Because the Satan stuff kind of...
I don't know. I think it gets really creepy, like towards the end, where it really goes all in, and you see the creepy
really
like yellow eyes underneath the
that was
veil.
really good. I love that.
And you see the silhouette of like a demon behind her. Yeah, I mean, I think the Satanist element is cool. It would have been easy just to make it a creepy serial killer movie, but like having that added Satanist element. I just think they should have used it more. I think they should have leaned heavier into that, like 30 minutes earlier in the movie.
I think just the only part that I don't like is when he says "Hail Satan." Like, it just seems
Hailing Satan is cringe.
boring
I don't know.
and
I thought it was
cringe to
great.
me.
It's so cringe.
I loved it.
But I mean,
That's so cringe.
I'm also
man
a
downstairs.
little confused about the man downstairs or the man in the basement. I keep forgetting which one it is, but man downstairs. So when Longlegs is mentioning the man downstairs, it seems like he's referring to Satan.
Yeah.
But then we learned that Longlegs has been living in the basement
Yeah,
of
that's what
Lee's mom's house.
I saw it as like they both.
Yeah.
So is
are.
he the
I
man
saw it as, like,
downstairs?
he's quite literally
Or
the
they
man,
both the man
downstairs,
downstairs?
and I think he was trying to give that hint to Lee, like dropping that little tidbit there to be like, "This is where my fucking lair is, dumbass. Like, how did you not tell? Like, I've been there the whole time." The whole fucking your whole life, dude. There's a man making.
Could you imagine
fucking
that man living in your
humanoid
basement your
fucking
entire childhood?
mannequins in your basement filled with Satan in a ball in their head, and your mom is fucking helping him, and you're just chilling. You're just coming home from school, doing your homework, eating some pot pie. Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, imagine being that kid looking down the basement stairs and you're like, "Ah, it's scary. It's like dark down there." And then you go down and it's like, nope, you're right. Nicolas Cage
yeah.
in a mask is down here. You should have not come down here at all.
Yeah.
Fear confirmed. Yeah. No, I think it's pretty literal in how they're treating it. It's like the man downstairs that they're talking about is Satan. It's just another euphemism for Satan. And, you know, Nicolas Cage or Longlegs is a worshiper or a servant of Satan.
Yeah.
You know, recruiting other people to his cause. Like, I don't think Nicolas Cage was supposed to be Satan incarnate or anything, because I think he too willingly committed suicide. But
It's grotesque.
Yeah,
so that was creepy. He commits suicide, which is like pretty.
Because we're still in Act 2.
You know, there's plenty of movie left.
Because there was
Like,
3
you're like,
parts
oh,
that
what are
were
we doing here
presented,
now?
like part
What's
1, part
going
2, part
on?
3.
And
Yeah. So another part that he talks about before he kills himself, which I think is really important, is he kind of gives away how he's doing it, but we don't understand it when he's saying it, because he just sounds like a crazy guy rambling. But he talks about going to the front door, saying, "I'm from the church, and you've won, and here's your prize."
But
And
we're
then
like super
that
confused at
is
this
kind of
point.
important
Like,
later when we learn like how
like
all
he's
of
just
this
kind of
goes down.
spewing nonsense, and Lee is
Yeah, when
probably
he says it, it's
understanding
very
a lot more
confusing.
than she thinks she is in that moment. And then, you know, he kills himself. She's super shaken up, and I don't know.
Why didn't she like put him in an armbar? You know what I mean? Like,
He's
stop him from bashing his
probably way
head.
stronger
After
than
the
her.
first bash, I mean, he's handcuffed. Get that guy in a chokehold or something. Stop him from bashing his head.
Yeah, but
Well,
yeah. After
he's
that,
in a chair. He's
whatever.
bound.
She's like, oh no.
Also, that's sexist.
But after that, she's swearing up and down that
No, she's a tiny
that
woman.
he has an accomplice,
A tiny little baby
and we're
girl.
like, as a viewer, I don't know how you felt, but I was kind of like, really? I was like, why? I was like, I don't know why he would have an accomplice. Like, I didn't think that made sense really, but she swears it, and Blair Underwood is like, no. like he's on the audience's side where he's like, no, we got him. He's fucking dead. We could have learned more from him. You fucked up. You made him kill himself. So this is all your fault. And then the other agent, I forget her name, is like, okay, we're going to go to your mom's house and see if she really knows more, because we didn't find out a lot, but I'm not letting you drive. So we're going to go together. And like they get there, and Lee's like, you don't need to come in. I want to do this alone. We're just going to say we're going to take her in for questioning. And the other agent is like, okay, yeah, sounds good. And then we get Oh man, the entire audience went when her mom is creeping behind the car and the agent's just sitting in there. Lee's in the house trying to find her mom, and her mom just blows that woman's fucking head off with a shotgun twice. And Lee to make sure.
Yeah, I like how she does
She's
it from
like,
both
you
sides.
better
like
be in pieces, bitch.
She shoots her in the head.
And Lee sees this
walks
from the
around
window,
the car,
and
shoots
that's
her
when
again.
Lee's like, what the fuck? Like, never in a million years would you expect your mother to be a part of Satan's fucking plan. But Lee sees this happen. She goes outside. She tries to find her mom, and her mom is with the mannequin of Lee. And that's scary. And she blows the mannequin's head off for some reason. And then I didn't really understand.
Breaking the psychic link, so she's not psychic anymore. She's just, and it kind of makes her pass out. Like, it obviously affects her brain.
And then she wakes up some time later, and she is in Longlegs'
at that
lair, and that's the reveal when she goes up the stairs. Is that it's in her house, and you're like, what the fuck? That was good. That was good. I forget.
And now we have the part Bryce hates.
No, I mean, like, from that point on, like, it's all explaining, like, the connection and like you see the flashbacks of Longlegs actually being in her house, and that how it works is her mom shows up on the door and says, like, congratulations, the church gave you a doll. And,
well, when a nun shows up at your door, like,
like,
that's the thing. When she was saying the stuff about an accomplice, when Lee was saying, like, there has to be an accomplice, it has to be someone that you would willingly let into your house without, like, and a nun is that's perfect, because why wouldn't you trust a nun or, you know, like, that looks like an innocent woman. And, also, I think it's really cool that it, like, reveals how, like, what actually happened on Lee's 9th birthday is that her mother was tied up and Longlegs was going to kill them. And she was like, please let me save my daughter. Please let me make a deal with you right now. And Longlegs is like, fine, you're going to be my sidekick, bitch, for the rest of your fucking life. Like, and she's like, cool.
Womp womp. Yeah. So yeah, and then it shows, like, that just the doll has this power over the people once it's revealed, and, you know, basically psychically makes the father kill everyone, which is interesting. Which really, like, why do you need someone to deliver it? Why not just, like, deliver the package?
Also, Longlegs makes the
I guess
mom
he's just trying to save on shipping
the
fees.
people die,
which makes sense.
Which turns her evil because, you know, trauma.
Yeah, that's the other part.
The Conjuring 50.
I wonder if Annabelle was one of Longlegs' dolls. Yes.
Yeah, so, and it's her partner's daughter's birthday on the 14th.
No.
So
she
she's
doesn't know
driving
that
there
it's
to try and
happening yet.
stop
She drives there
this
to
from
tell
happening,
him
but she gets
that
there
it's her
too
mom.
late. Her mom is already...
Oh, yeah. Right. Oh, yeah.
No, because she gets a
scary.
phone call saying you're late
like
for the
that.
birthday party.
You're right. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
So
Good
yeah,
scene.
she
Good
shows up
scene.
and her mom is already there with the doll and everyone's already in a
Pause.
trance.
Hello?
Okay, I'm back.
Oh.
Where were you?
Okay.
It's saying
Yeah.
I was trying to reconnect to the internet. I'm fine. Everything's fine. But we should probably wrap up soon.
Oh, Bryce. Let me have this. Let me enjoy my Longlegs episode.
I was screaming internally, shoot the fucking doll. Like, what are you doing? She's like sitting there watching her partner or the other special agent like stand up and be like, so we're going to go in the back and I'm going to murder my wife. Everyone understands that I'm going to murder my wife. Okay, well,
I love
she's not coming back because I'm going to murder her.
Well, she's like, I'll be right back. And he's like, no, you won't. You're going to be in there. I'm going to come back.
And she's just sitting there with a gun in her hand.
But like, this was such a good scene because he's like, I need to go get a knife to cut the cake. And his wife is like, do you really have to do that? And he's like, yes, you're already gone. You're already gone and you're not coming back from the kitchen. And then we hear him kill her.
Yes, bitch.
And Micah Monroe is just staring at the daughter who's staring at the doll. She's in a trance, obviously. Her mom is like, don't fuck this up, bitch. Don't fuck this up for me. This is all I have left. Don't fuck it up.
Well, and she says, if you stop this from happening, we're going to burn in hell, basically, forever.
Because you're following Satan.
But aren't you already going to burn in hell for it? Like, does that really matter?
What she says is we're going to burn and twist forever, which I thought was a interesting line. I thought that was pretty cool.
It just tells you Chubby Checker's probably down there, leading the dance party. Nothing. You guys are.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But it's a good ending.
Weren't you guys born in the 40s?
The immediate end is kind of ambiguous because she tries to shoot the doll and either her gun jams or there's no more bullets left and she's just left. It's on her face crying, presumably looking at the doll and holding the daughter and trying to get the daughter out. But yeah, she doesn't shoot the doll. She does shoot her mom in the head though. Really does that, But burning and twisting. Twisting and burning. Burning and twisting.
And now she's burning and twisting. And she shoots the husband, too.
I loved that. It was like,
and then
it's
it
over.
ends with Longlegs in the interrogation room blowing you a kiss.
It was good. It was a great movie. It was fucking great.
Yeah, this is pretty fun.
It was fun.
It's only been an hour.
All right, Bryce is checked out. Let's get to this game.
Yay!
Cages and cages.
Yay!
Yay! Okay.
Oh, I'm a cat. I'm a sexy cat.
Do you know where that's from?
No.
Oh, that's from a really great episode of Community where Abed is trying to determine whether Nick Cage is a good actor or a bad actor. And he goes insane. And that's his Nick Cage impression, basically.
Okay, so I have 10 Nick Cage characters. I've already paired them up with each other. We'll do a bracket formation. Here's the rules. I'll say it again. You each get to vote who would win in the fight.
Okay.
And if you agree, we move on. If you disagree, I will be the tiebreaker.
Oh, wow.
And the other rule is if you haven't seen the movie that it's from, you don't get to vote.
I can already tell you it's Castor Troy, but we can proceed.
Okay, the first one, the first mashup is Ghost Rider from Ghost Rider versus Zoc from Ant Bully.
I don't think I've seen either of those.
Ant Bully. I don't even know what that is.
I've seen Ant Bully. Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna say Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider. I'm not super familiar with his powers, but I'm gonna say Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're saying Zoc from Ant Bully because you haven't seen Ghost Rider. Okay, I'm gonna break this tie and say the Ant would lose, and Ghost Rider would probably win.
You could just step on him. Yeah.
Because Zoc is an ant. Okay, let me mark that, and we'll move on. Okay, next in the ring, we have Ben Franklin Gates from National Treasure.
Oh, I never saw a pig.
Fighting Rob from Pig.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good question
Yeah.
because Rob from Pig is a woodland
And
hobo.
Franklin can,
He's really good at cooking.
And
but he
Gates,
but
whatever,
he can get you out of
Franklin
any situation.
is a noted historian and adventurer. I'm pretty sure doesn't the character in Pig get beat
I'm
the
also
shit out
going to
of
say
by
President
people that
Cage.
steal his pig? So I'm going to say Gates Franklin is going to win this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rob from Pig dies in the ring, and his pig is stolen by Ben Franklin Gates.
Okay.
Okay.
'Cause
Next
pig
in the
ate
ring.
the Declaration of
Gonna put some
Independence.
lemon juice.
Okay. So
We need to find the truffles to find the Declaration of Independence.
next we have Speckles from G-Force. He's a guinea pig.
Oh no
Versus,
joke! It's gonna be the guy from
the
Willy's
man from
Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland.
No fucking around there. Guinea pig? Come on.
Yeah, it's Willy's Wonderland.
So you think the guinea pig
the guy
with
from Willy's
a
Wonderland
flamethrower
defeated
and,
Freddy,
like,
Freddy
laser
Fazbear. Come on.
beams is losing?
Yeah.
Fake Freddy Fazbear.
Freddy Five Bear. Yes. Okay. So Speckles is stomped on, and his rodent body is carried away.
The energy
He
drink.
probably could have just thrown those, cans of soda or whatever that he kept drinking from across the room.
Okay. We have two more mashups, and then we'll have the winners fight.
Okay.
In the ring now is Grug from the Croods
I actually haven't seen
versus
either of those, but I'm going to say
Castor Troy from Face Off.
Castor Troy. He's got not one, but two golden guns.
Okay.
It's
I haven't
not
seen
winning.
Face Off.
It's not winning.
That could be what we're watching for the patron pick, though, because it was nominated.
Yeah, there's...
I haven't seen it.
So you really think that the Grug from the Croods is he's not winning this?
Does he have guns?
No. He's
Then
freakishly
no.
strong, though. Okay.
Does...
The caveman dies. By the way, if you lose this cage match, you die.
Cage versus Cage.
Okay. Last one in the first column.
Yeah, maybe.
Edward Malice from The Wicker Man. Is that how you say his name?
I'm so shocked you didn't do Mandy.
Guy from The Wicker Man or Peter from Vampire's Kiss.
Yeah, I'm going to say the guys from Vampire's Kiss, because I feel like you could trick him.
I probably will
into,
agree with that
climbing
because
into a Wicker
he
Man.
got pretty tricked.
Yeah,
in the
that's
Wicker
probably
Man,
true.
So. Oh.
Okay. So let's put these winners together. Ghost Rider from Ghost Rider versus Ben Franklin
That's
Gates from
hard.
National Treasure.
So
I'll remove the rule that you can vote for whoever now. It's fine. It
So
doesn't matter if you've
looking
seen
up,
the movie.
looking up Ghost Rider's powers, I think he's got a good chance of beating.
He's the power of his
Ben
mind.
Franklin.
Well, Ben Franklin Gates
Yeah,
doesn't have
probably
any powers,
Ghost Rider. That's
except for his
that
brilliant
makes the most
historian
sense.
mind.
He could do a lot of
Right.
things.
Yeah.
Superhuman.
All right. The Declaration of Independence is not safe anymore. The man from Willy's Wonderland versus Castor Troy from
I'm gonna
Face
say
Off.
the guy from Willy's Wonderland.
Castor
He's
Troy.
really resourceful. Yeah.
All right, then I will be the tiebreaker. And I will say the guy from Willy's Wonderland.
Oh, you don't know shit. You don't know. Get educated. Get educated. You're ignorant. You guys, y'all ignorant.
I will watch Face
Y'all
Off.
ignorant.
John
Go
Travolta.
watch Face Off. That's
Okay.
Nick Cage's best character.
Okay. Ghost Rider or Peter from Vampire's Kiss?
It's going to be Ghost. Oh, well,
I'll
now
go with
without
Ghost Rider.
Castor Troy, it's Ghost Rider that's going to win.
You think?
Yeah.
It's kind of
considering that he has the power of immortality. He's almost indestructible. So here are Ghost Rider's powers: regeneration, superhuman strength, immortality, which is a hard one to beat. Mystical chain projection, the penance stare, which when in close combat, Ghost Rider can lock eyes with their opponent and inflict self-mortification by imposing on them every negative action, behavior, sensation, and sin they've ever committed. Should be rough.
That's a pretty awesome power, actually.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna, whatever matchup it was, I'm pretty sure Ghost Rider's gonna win that one.
So let me paint a picture for you. Ghost Rider and Peter are in the ring. They're duking it out. Peter's not having a good time, and the man from Willy's Wonderland tags him out. Mm-hmm. Now what happens?
He gives him the
probably
penance
Ghost
stare.
Rider's gonna win.
He's had two of the Red Bull
superhero.
drinks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You should have did the guy from Mandy. He would have won everything.
I shouldn't have put Ghost Rider on the list. He's too powerful.
I think if Castor Troy was put up against Ghost Rider, I think it would be pretty evenly matched. I mean,
you think?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Face Off.
Well, see, Castor Troy would switch faces with him and then try to rape his daughter. That would be how he would overcome.
Oh, I also want to say about Longlegs that I'm very
Ghost
happy
Rider
that there was no child sexual
Yes.
assault in it. Because, with movies like this, that can happen very easily if the writers are lazy and want to just do shock value. And I'm very happy that that was not the case. No.
Did I not put Longlegs on that list?
You did not.
I thought
we
I
could
did.
put Longlegs versus the guy from Mandy.
Oh my fucking god.
Okay, Longlegs versus the guy from Mandy.
I think Mandy wins.
Oh, okay, well then why are we even playing this game? All right, guys, thanks again for listening.
The guy from Mandy versus Ghost Rider, that would be a
Call
good match.
682-253-4468. And we'll see you on the next one. Happy Wednesday. Mwah.